Dear students, today we are going to discuss about the cerebellum. What is meant by cerebellum? Cerebellum, it is the largest part of the hindbrain situated in the posterior cranial fossa behind the pons and medulla. We'll see the details of these points. See what I told is the largest part of the hindbrain situated in the posterior cranial fossa behind pons and medulla. See, nervous system it is divided into two parts: central nervous system and a peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system is having brain and a spinal cord. So central nervous system it is having two parts: brain and a spinal cord. First, we are going to the brain. Okay, this brain it is having three parts: forebrain, which includes the cerebrum. Okay, or forebrain, then midbrain, a small connecting part. This is what the midbrain. Then hindbrain, forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. Hindbrain. What are the parts of the hindbrain? See, can you see a bulged part here? This is what the pons. Pons. Then this lower part. This is what the medulla. Then cerebellum. These three are the parts of the hindbrain. Okay, so pons, medulla, cerebellum, hindbrain. Now here, first I told you this is what the forebrain. Forebrain means the cerebrum and the structures inside the cerebrum includes thalamus, hypothalamus, subthalamus, and medulla, those things. Okay, anyway, this is what the forebrain. Now this is what the hindbrain. Hindbrain includes pons, medulla, and a cerebellum. This hindbrain, which is connected to this forebrain by a narrow connecting part, this connecting part. This is what the midbrain. So brain, it is having three parts: forebrain, midbrain, then hindbrain. So no doubt, cerebellum it's a part of hindbrain. It is the largest part of the hindbrain. What are the other parts of the hindbrain? Pons and medulla. See the size, or compare the size of these three. Okay, so it is the largest part of the hindbrain. It is located in the posterior cranial fossa. So the next point. So first point is clear. It is the largest part of the hindbrain. The next point is about the location. It is located in the posterior cranial fossa behind the pons and medulla. So it is located behind the pons and medulla. See, this is what the pons and this one is the medulla. So it is located behind that two. Okay, so location is clear. It is located behind the pons and the medulla in the posterior cranial fossa. So what is meant by that? This is what the cranial cavity. Inside the cranial cavity, this brain is located inside the cranial cavity. So this part of the cranial cavity is the anterior cranial fossa where the frontal lobe is located. Now this part of the cranial cavity, okay, see this depression where the temporal lobe is located, that is the middle cranial fossa. Now this part automatically it is known as what? Posterior cranial fossa. Okay, so anterior cranial fossa, this shallow depression, this is what the anterior cranial fossa, middle cranial fossa with the temporal lobe, and posterior cranial fossa with this cerebellum. So that point is also clear. It is located in the posterior cranial fossa. Okay, behind the pons and medulla, and it is the largest part of the hindbrain. So the introduction point is clear now. So cerebellum, it is the largest part of the hindbrain situated behind pons and medulla in the posterior cranial fossa. Now relations. We'll see some important relations. Anteriorly, pons and medulla, no doubt. In between those two, there we can see those two means between the cerebellum and this brain stem, there we can see the fourth ventricle. Where is it? See, can you see a small tent-shaped space here? This triangular shaped area. This is what the fourth ventricle. So anteriorly, it is related to this fourth ventricle, then pons, medulla. Okay, so those are the some of the anterior relation. And posteriorly, this bone, occipital bone, squamous part of the occipital bone. This area is it is the occipital lobe of the cerebrum. So correspond to that here comes the occipital bone. Okay, so occipital bone is having a flat part. Squamous means what? Flat. So this is what the squamous part of the occipital bone. So posteriorly, the cerebellum is related to this bone, squamous part of the occipital bone. Anteriorly, pons and medulla. Then superiorly, a fold of dura mater that separates the cerebrum from the cerebellum. That fold of dura mater is known as tentorium cerebellae. So that's all about the relations. So anteriorly, pons and medulla, mainly these two, pons and medulla. In between there we can see a space, that one is a fourth ventricle. Posteriorly is forms part of the occipital bone. Superiorly, tendorium cerebelli. Why it is known as tendorium? It is a tent-shaped fold of dura mater. So here this ventricle is also a tent-shaped cavity. Okay, so this is what tent-shaped fold of dura mater known as tendorium cerebelli. Okay, so those are some of the important relations of the cerebellum. Now, what are the external features of the cerebellum? Main point, external features of cerebellum. Cerebellum consists of two cerebellar hemispheres. It consists of two cerebellar hemispheres connected by the vermis. Same like that of the cerebrum. Cerebrum is having two cerebral hemispheres connected by the corpus callosum. Like that, here also, the cerebellum consists of two cerebellar hemispheres connected by the vermis. Now see this image. See here, this is what the right cerebellar hemisphere, and this one is a left cerebellar hemisphere. So two hemispheres are clear here. And this connecting part, in the center there we can see a connecting part, a ridge-like structure here. This structure, this is what the worm is. So worm is then two cerebellar hemispheres. Okay, so that point is clear. It is having two cerebellar hemispheres connected by the vermis. One cerebellar hemisphere, opposite side cerebellar hemisphere. This worm-like structure vermis. Okay, now we'll see some points of this vermis. Vermis is having two surfaces, one superior surface and one inferior surface. Superior surface is convex. Here in this image we can see the superior surface. See, it is convex. Inferior surface, it is concave. Or there it shows a median notch known as the vallecula. So that's all about the vermis. It is having two surfaces, superior convex surface and inferior concave surface. There it is having a notch over that depression. It is known as the vallecula. So clear, two cerebellar hemispheres and a connecting vermis. Now each cerebellar hemisphere or each hemisphere is divided into three lobes. We can compare with the cerebrum. See, cerebrum, each hemisphere is divided into four lobes: frontal, temporal, parietal, and occipital. Like that, this hemisphere, each hemisphere of the cerebellum is also divided into three lobes: anterior lobe, middle lobe, flocculonodular lobe. See, so each cerebellar hemisphere is divided into three lobes: anterior lobe, middle lobe, flocculonodular lobe, by two fissures. Okay, by two fissures or two gaps. So what are the fissures? Primary fissure and posterolateral fissure. Those are the two fissures. We'll see that. See here, this is what the cerebellum in this image, midbrain, bones, and medulla. So this area, this is what the anterior lobe. See, these are red-colored fissures or a gap. Fissure means what? Narrow slit-like space or a narrow gap. So this gap, it is known as what? Primary fissure. At this gap, this one is a posterolateral fissure. Now this dotted area, this is what the anterior lobe. That means anterior lobe is again divided into two parts. So we are coming to that. Okay, so this is what the anterior lobe. Then this area, this is what the middle lobe. Now this colored one, this thin one, this is what the flocculonodular lobe. So means each hemisphere is divided into three lobes: anterior lobe, middle lobe, then flocculonodular lobe, by two fissures, primary fissure and posterolateral fissure. So clear now, anterior lobe, middle lobe, flocculonodular lobe, primary fissure, posterolateral fissure. Okay, so anterior lobe is separated from the middle lobe by the primary fissure. Middle lobe is separated from the flocculonodular lobe by the posterolateral fissure. We have to check it again. Anterior lobe is separated from the middle lobe by this primary fissure. Correct. This is what the anterior lobe, and this area, this is the middle lobe. So these two are separated by this primary fissure. And this middle lobe, which is separated from this flocculonodular lobe by this fissure, posterolateral fissure. So Lobes and fissures are clear. It is divided into three lobes: anterior, middle, and flocculonodular lobe. Fissures are primary fissure and posterolateral fissure. Now, each lobe is subdivided into numerous lobules by some unnamed fissures. Each lobe is again subdivided into numerous fissures. We already saw. See, we'll see. See, this is what the anterior lobe. Anterior lobe is again divided into two lobules by one unnamed fissure. What are the two lobules? The first lobule, it is the ala. Then this one, quadrangular lobule. So, anterior lobe, which is divided into two lobules, ala and quadrangular lobule. Like that, the middle lobe, see, ala and quadrangular lobule. The middle lobe, which is divided into symbol lobule. See, this lobule, it is known as symbol lobule. Superior semilunar lobule, inferior semilunar lobule, biventral lobule, and tonsil. Okay, means it is divided into five lobules. Middle lobe, which is divided into five lobules. What are they? Symbol lobule, superior semilunar lobule. Below that, see, this is superior semilunar. So automatically this one, inferior semilunar lobule, then biventral lobule, and tonsil. See, here in the middle part of this, there we can see one fissure. This fissure, it is known as a horizontal fissure. See, this gap, it is known as the horizontal fissure. So above that, this area, this is what the superior surface of the cerebellum, and below the horizontal fissure, this area, this is what the inferior surface of the cerebellum. We are coming to that. Okay, anyway, this middle lobe, it is divided into five lobules: symbol lobule, superior semilunar lobule, inferior semilunar lobule, biventral lobule, and a tonsil. This one is a flocculus. Okay, like that. See, those fissures, see, these fissures not only divides the cerebellum, or not only divides the hemisphere of the cerebellum, it also divides the vermis. That vermis is also divided into nine lobules: lingula, central lobule, culmen, declive, folium, tuber, pyramid, uvula, and nodule. How? See this image now. This is what the cerebral hemisphere, and in this connecting part, this is what the vermis. See those fissures. See, this one is a primary fissure. This one is a posterolateral fissure. Okay. So here we can see the lobules of the vermis. What are the lobules of the vermis? See this one: lingula, central lobule, culmen, declive, folium, tuber, pyramid, uvula, and nodule. Okay, so these are the lobules. Okay, see, each hemisphere is divided into numerous lobules. Like that, the vermis is also divided into numerous segments or numerous lobules. Okay, so this is what the vermis, and these are the lobules, or these are the segments of this vermis. So here also we can see the primary fissure, posterolateral fissure, horizontal fissure. Now it is having two surfaces. I already told you the horizontal fissure separates the superior surface from the inferior surface. Cerebellum, or each hemisphere, is having two surfaces. See, this is what the superior surface, and this one is a inferior surface. These two are separated by the horizontal fissure. See, this one is a horizontal fissure. Below that, this is an inferior surface, and this one is a superior surface. Okay.